Judge Supermanian, I'm writing to express my grave concern over the prospect of Sean Combs being released from custody. While I appreciate the fairness you have shown throughout this proceeding, I feel compelled to be unequivocal about the danger he poses to the public and to the individuals who have risked everything by coming forward. Mr. Combs has a long, well-documented history of violent, coercive, and retaliatory behavior. Over the years, he has repeatedly escaped meaningful accountability, and each time has only reinforced his sense of impunity. If he is released now, I have no doubt he will see it as yet another license to continue intimidating, threatening, and harming people who challenge or expose him. Many of us have firsthand knowledge of the fear he instills in those around him. I can say without hesitation that he is a serious and immediate threat to victims, witnesses, and the broader community. His pattern of violence, particularly while engaged in the trafficking of individuals for prostitution, combined with unchecked substance abuse, makes it clear that he is not ready to re-enter society safely or responsibly. To release Mr. Combs without substantial consequence would undermine the integrity of this process and send a dangerous message that wealth and influence can shield someone indefinitely from accountability. It will also endanger those who cooperated with this investigation under subpoena, who are already living in fear of retaliation. I urge you in the strongest possible terms to prioritize the safety of victims and witnesses over consideration of leniency. Over any consideration of leniency. Mr. Combs has had countless opportunities to change, and he has chosen instead to escalate his harmful conduct. Allowing him back into the community now would be a profound mistake. Thank you for your time and for your commitment to protecting the public from those who repeatedly demonstrate they are unwilling to respect the law. Respectfully, Deontay Nash. That's the letter.
Yeah, when I saw the verdict earlier, the first thing I thought to myself is if he goes home at any point, between now and the next 5 years, he would be smart to sit his ass down in his house. I don't know, take up some type of hobby, I don't know, trade, get his kids on point, make sure that they're good, and just stay in the background, just never show his face again. If he's smart, is he gonna do that?
Nope. So the update from Inner City Press is that there will be a hearing after the submission of these letters. The judge will be reconvening the parties in court at 5 p.m. So that's when we'll get another update. Continue the discussion about the letters and whether or not he should be released or whatever. He should be. Or anything.
I mean, just from that, I mean, I don't think there's, I don't know what other people think. I don't think there's much to discuss. I mean, it's pretty pro forma. They're just asking that they release him on bail. And when they said something about appropriate conditions, that would probably be house arrest, surrender of a passport, and probably some sort of monitoring. That's probably what it would count as appropriate conditions or whatever. Yeah, I don't see that there's much to discuss there. I mean, their claim he's facing 20 rather than life, so the chances of him fleeing are lessened. I don't know. But the prosecutor does make a credible challenge that if he is out, he can intimidate. Sentencing hearing, they are going to have impact statements at the sentencing hearing. They are allowed to call other witnesses to testify, to provide evidence to him being a menace. And these testimonies can go to crimes related to what he was accused of, but weren't part of the original case. So in the letter, they said something about he has a year's history of doing something. So they'll have impact statements on that, I'm sure, for the sentencing hearing. So there's a potentiality that he could intimidate those people and thus affect their participation in the sentencing. I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see what the judge how the judge comes down on it. Yep, that's right, Johnny. He out there. He can get them people who got the civil cases. Yeah, he can still be a menace.
Yeah, I'm sure. He has like 80 to 110 civil cases pending right now.
No way, he's beating Trump? Goddamn.
And it is like,
150 and astounding.
oh my God. 80. Like, it's just, and the thing is that, like, I agree with like 95% of what is written in the prosecution's letter. The only problem is, like, the only problem is, look, y'all did not prove your case, okay? Or at least the jury didn't believe that you proved your case. So this person is looking at prostitution charges. And, if, for example, wasn't witness tampering, wasn't that one of the RICO charges? Wasn't that one of the predicates for RICO? Witness tampering. Wasn't that, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, if he had gotten one of those, then that would be different. But he was not found guilty of that. Like, you know what I mean? These are things that came out during the trial. So the judge can't just take that and be like, yeah, they're right. Like, you can't punish somebody for stuff that you did not prove. And meanwhile, we know he is a fucking asshole. And I totally agree that he thinks now that he's fucking invincible.
Right, but Dr. Goddess, the judge, he can consider the evidence that was presented.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope he does.
Because all of that is connected to the charges on which he was found guilty, right? That he took them across for prostitution, which involves a level of coercion. Both of them testified to that. So the coercion inside of the charge that he was convicted of.
Okay, that's good. And then, like, the other thing is, I'm wondering when is the sentencing, right? Because if I get like Diddy don't want to go back inside, but like Negro, you ain't gonna be like. I'm just saying to myself, does he? Maybe he, like so many of the toxic people on this app, think that he's not gonna do any more time. Maybe that's what maybe they're saying. Well, let me just ask: do you think that because he thinks? Because he knows that his lawyers are going to appeal, and because he thinks that, like, whatever his sentence is going to be is going to be light, that he should just go home, period. Like, you know what I mean? Like now he's like, yeah, like that dude that was in here, time served, we'll see what happens, I'm gonna be on appeal, and I'm just gonna be out. Like, I doubt I'm gonna have to go back to prison. That's what I'm thinking is running through his sick mind.
Yeah, I don't know about that part, but on the question of when the sentencing, I mean, like, well, this case has accelerated. Sorry.
But y'all don't think his money's long
Sorry,
enough?
they cutting trees in the neighborhood, so they got those big machines. But everything has been accelerated. So if the judge wants to get done before the 4th of July, he might do sentencing tomorrow. But usually, and they may already have their briefs on deck, their motions on deck for the sentencing recommendation. They may have prepared those already. So somebody in the office is editing out the charges that he wasn't convicted of, and they're tailoring it to the specific convictions. They're probably working on that right now. But normally each side presents like a formal pleading to the court, and then the court they have like a hearing, the judge asks questions, then the judge goes and reads the pleadings from both sides, and then makes a decision. But usually they schedule the sentencing to give the judge time to do that. And in those pleadings, they'll reference like other cases and stuff. So the judge has to have the clerk like look those up. They determine whether the precedent is relevant. So I don't know. His sentencing could not be for a couple weeks, but they've been speeding up everything. So he could, if they turn in their pleadings today, he could sentence tomorrow. You know. But the sentencing is a process too. It's like a little mini hearing sometimes. So, I don't know.
So Quinn said they're probably going to let him go home with conditions. I'm thinking that the judge probably has a general idea as to what he's going to sentence Diddy to. You know what I mean? So, but maybe it's if an appeal is possible. If I was the prosecutor, if I was the defense, I would have the appeal on deck immediately. You know what I mean? I would be filing it as soon as the judge was like, all right, court's adjourned after the sentencing, I would be filing my appeal. So I get it. But so maybe that's why he's thinking like, I may or may not let him go home. Anyway, those are my thoughts. But go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah,
I got a question. What has any Diddy supporters, come in doing a victory lap, and also, like, what does a victory look like? He doesn't pay for their side. He doesn't do any jail time because he is convicted of 2 things that could do 10 years each. So, like, what is it that would take where they don't do a victory lap? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Like, how does that work? And then separate question, what does the Venn diagram look like of people who support Trump still and people who support Diddy?
Well, yes, people are taking victory laps. They've been coming in the room. Clubhouse has over 20 rooms on the Diddy trial. Most of them are victory laps. A lot of people are very happy that he didn't get charged with RICO. And a lot of people are also happy that because he didn't get charged with RICO, he won't spend the rest of his life in prison. Some of his greatest offenders feel that he shouldn't spend another day in jail because he's already done, quote, time served. And since, anybody else want to answer in terms of the Venn diagram? Child, they're aligned. I mean, isn't this the sign of the times? That you could be Trump, you could be Diddy, you could be any of these people, and you're never really going to be held accountable. Patty, what were you saying earlier? Okay, Quinn, so I get that the RICO was a stretch, but what made it not a stretch for me was the two predicates. Because I kind of felt like there were like 3 or 4 predicates that were proven. Like bribery. I just don't understand like that the tape, hiding the tape from, the Cassie meeting in the hotel, that seems so clearly to be bribery for me. Why are you saying like the entire RICO was a stretch? Explain yourself. Oh, and Pierre says anything more than 5 years is not a victory lap. A full sentence would derail his business. Ooh, you're right about that.
Ongoing litigation.
And we have business propositions 14.
But he could get out on parole. Let's say they give him 5 years. He could get out on parole early, right? Theoretically.
Yeah. Because, I mean, look, y'all, according to the law, I mean, and this is what is so sad, because Diddy is so slick. He has never been charged with anything. Just think about that. This man has never been charged with anything. Shine went to jail for him, right? Steve Stout, I don't remember what happened,
Man,
but
Sean went to jail for himself.
uh,
He's a fool. Sean's a fool. That's
well,
not,
yeah, but he was a fool for Diddy.
yeah, but he went to jail for himself. You weren't manipulated. You did it because
He said that he was manipulated.
yeah.
And he said he was betrayed.
But then you might as well say D-Dot was manipulated because he went to prison for begging. Like he took the charge.
Like he didn't take the charge. He lost his case.
The former program manager and opening civilization procedures in the 600.
I think Diddy threw him in the bus is why he lost, but I don't remember honestly. But he did lose his case. Like he took it to trial, and I think Diddy won and Shine didn't. Right, but wasn't whatchamacallit charged as well? Diddy.
You know what? I don't remember either, Sin. I have watched Shine's recent interviews.
Yeah.
So, and like I'm a Libra, so I would have to go back in order to make a fair judgment. I would have to go back and look at what's what. But my point about Diddy is that he has gotten away with so much that wait, I think this was a response. Was it a response to Quinn or I don't remember. See, I got thrown off track. It'll come back to me. Brian said he's slick as baby oil. I know that's right. Oh, okay, all right. So I'm wrong for saying that Diddy was never accused, or no, that he was never charged. But wait, he was accused in civil suits and unproven claims of abuse, coercion. Oh, you're talking about the RICO. Okay. Abuse, coercion, and possibly trafficking related. Those actions, those serious, don't automatically imply a cohesive criminal. Okay. I mean, but it just seemed like the bribery. Okay, so here's wait. So this is another question that I'm confused about. Why? Okay, wait. Why isn't there sex trafficking?
I'm sorry, yeah, there's a, trying to figure out if they would be brazen enough to say 10 years in jail and then 10 years house arrest. That would be still considered a win. I think that's a possibility. Any thoughts on that?
That's true. I agree with that.
So, y'all talking about Sean, right? I'm not saying that. So, when Sean actually did shoot, but he was trying to claim it was self-defense. The problem was, it was supposed to be defending Diddy then. But the Diddy at the time, they had witnesses that placed Sean with the weapon, placed Sean with the situation. Sean's ass was trying to the document coming out later got it, bruh. But your ass still stuck at the motherfucker. I'm not shit. Let me tell you something. We cool in here. Me and my daughter, I love my baby to death, but I'm not shooting.